This is Vinny, the owner of the Knife Guy in Reno. A customer dropped off 4 knives. These 3 knives are actually from Japan on a recent trip where he just went. And one is a regular Henkel's knife. So these are very custom made knives. Everything about it is beautiful. Beautiful wood grain handle. The Damascus steel. Yeah, everything looks amazing on these. So how I normally put tape on the actual machine, I'm gonna tape these up as well and protect it for any potential scratches. And these are gonna be awesome knives to sharpen. So this one, I'm not gonna tape up that one, but these knives, let's do a little tape. The prep work is gonna be the longest part of this. He didn't have these knives too long, is what he said, and the edge just wasn't as good as he thought, so he used me before to sharpen some of his knives, and very pleased with the work. So I think that's the hardest part, is building trust with customers. Alright, 1 down, 2 more to go. And then we'll readjust the angle. Since these are Japanese knives, they require more of a steeper angle to sharpen. So I'm going to adjust both my sharpening machine and stropping machine to make sure they're all at the same angle. Oh, you know what? Let's do a best scale test. Yeah. Hold on 1 sec. Before I put this up, let's measure what these are at. So we have a pretty good idea of how dull or sharp it is before we sharpen. Clear everything for. All right. $560. Do one more. Here's the angle on my phone. There we go. $490. Cool. So 400 to 500 range on it. And again, this is just giving a small sample size of like on one small portion of the knife, but it's always cool to see where we're at. $350 up there, so not bad, but it's not the best either. So let's see what we could do with this. Put this away. For right now. What a cool symbol. So I'm just adding tape to these 3 knives to make sure no metal shavings will potentially scratch it. The finish is beautiful, so taking a little bit of extra caution on these. Okay. The Kiri is pretty rad. So you don't really have to do this if you're freehanding. Since I'm not freehanding, I use the angle guide. There's pros and cons. So with the angle guide, the metal shavings do get on the angle guide sometimes, and I want to avoid any scratches. But if you freehand, you're actually resting the knife on the belt, so it's a little bit harder to actually scratch the knife because you're just using just the edge of the knife when you sharpen. Here I'm actually resting the whole part of the knife onto the angle guide, so there's pros and cons to it. I know I can get a pretty consistent angle when I use the angle guide compared to freehanding, so just pros and cons. Sweet. Okay. Curious what this guy is at. I don't think I've measured him. This tape up here. Curious what this one. I think this is my favorite one. Like the handle looks gorgeous. I mean, all the handles look great, but I don't know. I like the wood color on this one like the best. Already have one up there. $45. $335. So, it's not bad, but like with any knife, it doesn't matter if it's handmade or from a commercial warehouse. Every knife gets a little dull. $5.90. And again, this is only taking a small little snapshot, so take it for a grain of salt. This little twine piece of test media is only testing just that narrow portion of the blade. So that's why we do a couple just to get a little consistency out of it, but yeah. So people use this as gospel. So it's just a tool. It kind of gives you a very objective way, but again, you're only measuring it's such a small portion of the actual knife. Yeah, that black finish looks amazing. All right, done with the prep work. Sorry, that took a little bit longer than expected. These mats are amazing to keep your feet on after long hours of sharpening. So, swap this guy out. So I always put tape on the angle guide, but you know, metal shavings do get on it, and that's why I want to make sure I protect the finish of these knives as well. Okay. Gabo, what's up, buddy? Did you see these knives I'll be sharpening today? Oh, also, I got a new scissor sharpener, so I'm not sure if you saw that. So I might do another live later today, sharpening these pinker shears. And it's pretty amazing. Like this sharpener is, it's called the twice as sharp. So I'll be busting that out later today. So yeah, man. So yeah, I've watched it. Dude, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all the support. So Gabo knows the drill with this one, but this is a 120 grit Kubatron belt. I'm going to set the angle, create a burr, and this is going to remove material pretty fast and very efficiently. Then over here is my leather strop. So this is to remove any extra burr that is left over. My little light is getting a little sad. All right, so I'm going to make sure both are at the correct angle. So Japanese knives, I'm gonna go a little bit steeper of an angle. I think I had this set at like 17 before. I'm gonna drop it down to 15. And then I wanna make sure my other sharpener is set at the same angle. Cool. 15-1, totally good with that. All right, come back over here. Loosen this guy. So you always want to make sure, if you're using multiple like machines, you always want to make sure they're at the same angle, but yes, you have to use a progression. So let's say this is still like a sharpening one. So I have like my other you have my initial sharpening, you have your second sharpening, then you have your other machine for like leather strop. Let's say this one's at 15. You always want to make sure this is like these same or slightly higher. So let's say this one's at 15. This one has to be at 15 or like 15.1, 15.2. Because if it's like lower, then you won't be hitting the actual apex of the knife. So having multiple machines gets a little tricky. Okay, let's make sure this one runs. Cool. 15.4. See if we can drop it just a little bit more, get it closer. Prep work always takes like the longest, but once it's done, it makes life so much easier. 15.2, I'm good with that. Sweet. In the past, I have tightened this angle guide so tight that it pinches the leather and it just doesn't spin. So this one takes a little bit longer to actually sharpen or to get all dialed. All right. It's a shameless plug. If you guys are interested, you guys can follow me, The Knife Guy, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and obviously on YouTube. All right. I'm gonna make sure this leather belt is off because that will stretch over time. So, sweet. Let's get to sharpening. I always wondered how the leather strap sharpens blades before. Brian, so semantics right here. It's strop, S-T-R-O-P. Not strap, but I totally get it, dude. So I thought the same thing. Like, how does this piece of leather sharpen a knife or blade? It just removes like the burr. So the blade has to be sharp already for this to actually work. This one is pretty cool when I was sharpening it. It's like, I didn't know it had so much carbon in it. So I don't know if you guys saw all the sparks coming off. So we got almost 300 people watching. Could you tell if the sparks were flying off in the live stream or not? I was paying more attention on the actual sharpening than looking at the phone. And let me tell you, dude, I'm still confused on a few things with knife sharpening. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say myths, but things that aren't proven. Things are proven, like you have to create an apex to sharpen, to get a good sharp knife. You have to remove a burr. Things are proven like that. So I did buy this felt belt here, and I'm going to test it out because I heard that this works amazing. Some people use it in conjunction with a leather strap, like they use the felt to remove the burr even more. Then they use like the leather to polish it up. So, and other people just use this without the leather. So I'm gonna experiment with that. Not on these knives though. Yol, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, that's correct, buddy. So I started with 120 grit Kubotron belt to create that burr, set the angle. Now I'm going to refine it with the 600 grit Trizac. Brian, send me your knives. I accept mail-in orders, and it doesn't matter if they're fancy or, you know, $5. I can make any knife sharp, and you'll be very happy with it. No, I've never tried a paper wheel yet. I don't have a bench grinder, but I heard paper wheels work amazing as well. Dude, so these knives are amazing. I taped them up for extra protection, so there's no chance of me scratching the Damascus steel. This one already has scratches on it, so, but I mean, I doubt I'll get any scratches, but I'm taking extra precaution with these. I've heard great things about wheels, about the leather wheels, felt wheels. I think wheels are fantastic, and I want to get one for the shop. I want to get the diamond serrated wheels first, and then maybe I can swap out for the leather ones, because these do wobble a little bit, so it's not perfectly straight, so that kind of bothers me. But overall, these have been great things. And then I have my kangaroo strap as well. Alright guys. I want to get a diamond wheel, but for stone polishing. Yeah, the Scotch-Brite wheels are awesome. There's different grits, like 200 is very aggressive, but I think they have like 600 grit for like satin polish. So yeah, those are great options, man. What grit do you have? Okay, so I started with 120 grit Cubitron belt to set the initial angle and burr. Then I refined it with the 600 grit Trizact, it's A30. Now I have a 1200 grit Trizact, which is A16. It's gonna leave a nice mirror polish and refine the burr even more and refine the scratch pattern. This will be my final sharpening step. Then I'll take you to my leather belt and I'll remove any burr and I'll refine it with my kangaroo strop. So, oh wow, we have quite a few people watching. Where is everyone from? I'm sharpening in Reno, Nevada. That's where my shop is. So you guys are more than welcome to send me any of your knives if you don't live here to get sharpened. right, we are done sharpening. Houston, Texas. Hey man, thank you so much for tuning in. So I totally appreciate that. I do blade edging in Northern California, but if I get anywhere. Oh, thanks, man. I totally appreciate it. Never been to North Carolina. Thank you for checking in. I always love having other sharpeners come by and check the channel out. Dallas, Texas, actually. Yeah, Brian, I feel like I don't even have a voice for radio. So it's kind of just, you know, taking like your chances out there, and then if you have a passion for it, people will actually pick up on it and love to watch. You know, I stutter, I make mistakes, I say a lot, and it's actually cool, man, because no one's perfect, and doing lives is very, I don't know, I enjoy interacting with everyone on the channel and then sharing my point of views on what works for me, what doesn't work, and how to sharpen knives, because everyone has a little different point of view, so it's rad. So I say if you want to start doing lives, go for it, man. So you have a burr on the back of the knife. Should I leave it or remove it? Remove any burr. The burr will actually damage the knife faster than anything. I wouldn't say more than anything, but the burr has been proven, if you don't remove it, to damage like the knife, because you have this little wire fold, and the more you cut into it, you're just pushing that down into the knife itself. So use a leather strop. I have two. This one is a basic one from Amazon. This is a Gen D Industries kangaroo strap, and this one is amazing. So what you want to do is match the angle up and then just drop until the burr pops off. Hopefully that helps. But yes, take the burr off. All right, so I've got my light. Hopefully you guys can still see that. And I'm going just very light strokes, gently just kissing the blade to the leather belt. Hopefully you guys can see like that mirror polish I put on it. All right, do a couple of those, and then we'll hit more with the leather strap, or with the kangaroo strap. This one is pretty cool. I didn't know there was so much carbon in this. I should have known, but it was cool seeing that. The weight of this one personally feels better than these two, even though these are all gorgeous knives. Just the weight of this one just feels amazing in my hands. So if you guys are enjoying this video, please leave it a thumbs up. That definitely helps the channel grow and get out there a little bit more. All right, that is off. All right, take that on. All right, let's remove all the tape. What alloy are you using? Alloy. Yo, thank you. What do you mean? I have a diamond spray compound I put on my leather belt, if that's what you're asking. Or the type of steel. I don't know what type of steel like these are, since these are custom made and the customer couldn't find out. And then I don't know any of the emblems on the actual knife or what they mean. So, sorry buddy, I can't answer that question fully. Yeah, that's awesome. These knives are rad. See, it almost took longer doing all the prep work than the actual sharpening. Hair dry, it helps take off masking. Oh, sweet. Good to know, man. Thank you. I'll borrow like my wife's hair dryer. I think the gloves, and it's a little cold in my shop right now. I do have my heater on, but I think those combinations, the gloves and the cold, are making it a little bit more difficult, but I like the idea of that hair dryer. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know, man. Here, I'll try and hold it up. Can you guys... So this is... Oh, first off, this looks rad. Oh, I love it. I don't see any markings on this one. I don't know if you guys can tell. But you see how shiny that edge is. These two have some markings on them. But hopefully you guys can read this lettering. I can't tell. Nothing on the back. So I have no idea what these are made of, man. Sorry. Wish I knew. All right. Do I want to put these here? Do I even have enough room? All right, let's move these over here. One knife at a time. Dude, the Damascus pattern on all three of these look amazing. I do love this kangaroo strap. I'm trying to think if I have more room if I bring this out. Here. Okay. This might be easier for me. Yeah, that's a lot easier. So I'm just refining the burr even more. This leather belt is good. It has diamond compound. Just refining it with no compound, and the kangaroo strap is just a finer grit. It's just a finer strap than the one I got online. So this is just for I sometimes. On the higher end ones, I like using no compound, just leave a very nice clean finish. And yeah. So I usually don't do this, but sometimes I do on these. Customer asks to get them as sharp as possible. So but all I'm doing is I'm matching the same angle that I sharpened at. Okay. The steel is slightly different than what it is on this Henkel. Gibo, what's going on? All right. There. All right, let's see how this one does for the cut test. There we go. Yeah, that is smooth. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Let's bring these, since I tested these on the best scale. All right. That's where we are. Tested this one. I think this was around like 5. I mean, it was averaging from like high 4s to like the mid 5s. It just sounded different. 195. Other one was 205, so pretty consistent. I like it. I like it. And I don't know if you guys, you guys can see like the low best score, like the lower best score numbers, like the double digits. I did these 4 knives in like 45 minutes, actually probably 30 minutes because it took some prep work. So as a business, I don't spend enough time getting like the super, super low best scores. Again, these are practical use. The person actually uses it. And I can change it to like, 10 degrees and make the edge smaller or more narrow, but this thing is very good. $2.15. I like it. This one has seems like to have a little bit wider base than these, so a little bit thicker steel. $145. Sharp, very sharp. Are you guys, so if I can quote one of my favorite movies, are you guys not entertained? That was the Gladiator. I'm very happy with how these came out. Very, very happy. Very happy. Sounds good. Well, you guys heard the misses. We're gonna be heading out here in a few minutes. We have a ultrasound appointment. We're expecting our first kid in April. Oh my God, these are so sharp. So perfect timing. So I'm glad I was able to get these done. So this is cigarette paper, very, very thin paper. Gabo, thanks, man, I appreciate it. Let's see how that one is. So at the beginning of this, when I was actually sharpening, I was creating sparks. This one has carbon, a lot of carbon in it. Yeah. Honestly, it's a beautiful knife. I'm very happy how all these came out. Tearing a little bit. I like it. Thanks, man. It is, I'm out of cigarette paper. So there is pros and cons of testing stuff online or in live stream. Like if I screw up, it's kind of embarrassing. So, because when you look at, these videos online, they're all edited, so it may take a few tries, and these guys get super low numbers, everything looks perfect. So doing it live, there's no faking of like, okay, I did a good job or I did a bad job. Yeah, man, this is our 20-week appointment, so the wife doesn't want to know if it's a boy or girl, so we're not gonna know. We're just gonna make sure the baby is all healthy. So, get off, get off. Stuck on. So, these knives are pretty rad. I'm very happy. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little bit of a video. So I'm wrapping up for the customer. And then I'll probably later today make another live video, and I have a twice as sharp scissor sharpener. So so if you guys are new to the channel, I wrap every knife up. It looks like a little burrito, and Gabo has now pronounced me as the burrito man. So I love it. I think this is the only reason why you actually show up, man. So one final look. Yeah, gorgeous. You know, sometimes I get in like the mundane thing of like, okay, just sharpening knives again. Just other knives. And it's always fun when you come across something that's a little different because you're so used to just the normal. And seeing these knives is pretty rad. And having customers that trust you enough to sharpen, spend time, and knowing that you're not going to screw up their very expensive custom-made knives is a huge sign of gratitude. I'm very happy that I can provide the service. So I appreciate it, Gabo. Alright guys, well I probably will be back in about a couple hours. Get some lunch after the appointment, but I'm glad you guys were actually able to join me in this pretty cool video of the Japanese knife sharpening. So, let me know if you guys ever want me to do like a little live video of actually stone sharpening. It'll take much longer, but let me know if that's something you guys are interested in time, or just keep on sharpening on my belt sanders. I'm here for you guys. I do. I come across a lot of different stuff, but I mean, I get a lot of like Henkel's, Wustaf's, like, I mean, really cool knives. But, and then Victorinox, there's nothing bashing about any of these knives. It's just like, you know, it's the same thing over and over a few times. So you're like, okay, I just get used to it. But when someone brings me, you know, custom knives, either like, it doesn't even have to be from Japan, just any custom knife. It's so cool because everyone has their own little process of sharpening. So I've been doing it for a little over 2 years. So I've seen some cool things. I've turned down a few projects or a few knife sharpenings, but I was like, I just don't feel comfortable. This thing looks crazy. So, but yeah. So if you guys ever need any of your knives sharpened, come to Reno, Nevada, or send your knives to me. And this is the type of quality that you can expect out of me. So give me a couple business cards, making a little bow, a little burrito bowl. Sweet. Sweet. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sticking around. I'll be back later after the appointment. So have a great day, guys. And again, this is Vinny, the knife guy in Reno, Nevada. Have a great day. Don't turn down Sharpening Magical, please. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a whole other topic of like being comfortable sharpening in, like, staying in your lane of what you're comfortable with. Doing this for 2 years, I've expanded my horizon, and on knives I don't feel comfortable with, I will buy my own of the same type and sharpen it and learn from my mistakes on that. So yeah, I think that's another talk for another day. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk